The best of the best. Catch the German Hit Parade Monday evenings at 7. Named 2024 Best Foreign Language Program from the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System.
Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
90.3 WHPC HD Garden City.
Available everywhere on iHeartRadio.
You got to pick up the pieces. Come on, start to trash better. Pull yourself back.
90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Welcome to another edition of From the Press Box here every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Stop hitting the microphone, brother. What are you doing?
Trying to fix it so I can actually speak on it, brother.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Anyway, welcome to another edition of our show. We're here every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Rob Leonard. Joining me, of course, is award-winning sports writer and, yes, everyone, the best stand brother anyone can get in the world.
And an expert microphone wrangler.
Yeah, what's
I don't know, like just touching it, it's just like it's very sensitive today.
I don't know. It's mine sensitive.
More sensitive,
Mine
more
isn't
sensitive than a Red Sox fan,
Mine isn't sensitive.
or a Celtics fan, I guess I should say, after the Olympics and the men's basketball and Jason Tatum.
Oh, well, you know.
There's a lot of Celtics fans out there that aren't rooting for Team USA. They're just only rooting for the Celtics.
And isn't it true that the John Henry is going to once buy the Celtics?
I don't know. The Celtics, they're selling the Celtics, so it wouldn't surprise me if John Henry wants to buy. He wants to buy everything sports related these days.
Well, I don't blame him.
He realized that you can make a fortune off of sports teams.
Yeah, I mean, owning the Red Sox and the Celtics would be
And Liverpool, and
Liverpool.
the guy just all he's doing nowadays is buying sports franchises and making millions,
well right now.
maybe close to billions.
Right now, it is time to own a team, and maybe I've said this before. You could see more teams in the future going public on the stock exchange.
No,
Yes.
no chance.
Not the Yankees.
No chance.
But the Knicks and the Rangers are MSG Sports. You have the Braves have a tracking stock. So
If they do that, the only purpose for it will be to rip off fans, because I doubt that they would make more than 5% of the team public.
Whatever.
So it would be ceremonial, and you would have to pay through the nose to get a piece.
Well, I own shares in the Garden.
In the Garden.
It's expensive.
Well, yeah. So there you go.
But if you wanted to be a fan, let's say the shop. I won't say what the shares. You can go find it yourself. It's not that bad. So,
For which?
for the teams
Well, it depends
and
on
the
which
arena.
teams.
Well, it's the Knicks, the Rangers.
The Packers are legitimately publicly owned
But
franchise.
that's a different thing. You can't buy them on the stock exchange.
I don't know how they do it, but whatever. But it's owned by the public.
Right. Well,
That's the only team that works like that.
Right. So it can work.
And it wouldn't surprise me if within 5 years they sell and everybody gets a nice chunk of change.
I doubt that. That's because then you move the team from Green Bay.
No.
Yes.
Why? There's no reason to move the team from Green Bay.
Sure there is.
They get huge attendance. Everybody there loves the Packers. There is absolutely no reason to move.
You're in Wisconsin.
So what? People love it there. People love the frozen tundra. It's legendary. Why would you move something legendary and alienate not only Packers fans but NFL fans across the country?
Right. Whatever. Anyway,
Hey, these are the carpetbaggers who moved the Packers.
well, a lot of people have been carpetbaggers. The St. Louis Rams.
But there's no
moved
reason to
back
do it when
LA.
they're making money.
They can make even more money.
Where?
Look what Jerry Jones did.
He had Dallas. Where did he move Dallas to?
He also built this super stadium.
Exactly. It's an investment. He's making more money.
I know that. That's why you move a team to make more
No,
money.
he didn't move them, though.
I
What
know
are you
that.
making?
I'm
You're
just-
trying to make a point with a non-point.
What I'm trying to say is it's easy to move a team, no matter how popular
But again,
they are.
you're using the example of Jerry
okay,
Jones,
well,
who never moved the team.
Okay, I'm using the Baltimore Colts then, okay?
And what are they doing? Are they making that much more money?
I don't know.
Well, there you go. So
They got a new stadium out of it.
let's
That's all they
move on.
wanted out of it.
Move on. This conversation is idiotic.
You know nothing about the business.
You're not
of sports.
coming at. You're not using any facts.
I don't have to. It's sports. Anyway, the Olympics
moronic
is
right
now
there.
over. Lots of things happened. USA did very well. Both the men and the women's teams did very well. The individual men and women's in gymnastics did very well, and swimming. And it was, it's just, a great time for the Olympics and the USA teams. You have the men's basketball winning the gold, though, they almost lost to Serbia, and they almost lost to France.
They were really trying to give that game away in the fourth quarter.
So
playing stupid, bad shots, turnovers, and then Steph Curry. Steph Curry saved our bacon, not our lives, but our bacon. Well, for sure.
I'm not really caring about that because Serbia could have won. I'll tell you why, brother. Serbia could have won. They should have won. What's the Rob Leonard theory, brother? In the last
I can't
5
wait
minutes?
to hear this again.
It's the last 5 minutes. If you were down, you don't take 3-pointers. You take quick 2-pointers. You go under the basket, you pass it, whatever. That's what you do. And Serbia's taking all these 3-pointers that are not hitting, and then the American team gets the rebound, and then they go down, and they get a quick 2-pointer and spread the lead out more. So Serbia didn't do that. So they lost, but they should have won. Let's be honest. Serbia should have won.
They were up 17 at one point in the third quarter. So yeah, based on that, they probably should have won the game.
Yep.
But the Americans finally started playing better. I mean, let's face it. They were undoubtedly the best team in the tournament. They had the most talent, undoubtedly. So them winning the gold medal shouldn't be a shock. But I said this when they first played Serbia. The U.S. played like clowns in the first 5 minutes of that game. Serbia came to play. They were playing tough defense. The United States was treating it like an exhibition game, and there was no intensity at all. And Steve Kerr had to call a timeout 4 or 5 minutes into the game and basically scream at these guys and say, "What the hell are you doing? This is not, we're in a competition here. This is a real game. We're not clowning here like this is some all-star game or some silliness. These guys, Serbia is actually playing defense. Why aren't we playing defense?" And he made a bunch of subs, and it was like, all right, fine, we got to send a message immediately because you guys are treating this like a joke, like every team is going to roll over for us. And then finally, the U.S. started playing and wound up winning that game by 20 or so. And Serbia came at him again. In the quarterfinal, in the semifinal match. Any team that's got Nikola Jokic on it has a chance to beat anybody.
Yes, I agree.
That's how good he is. So the fact that it took a while for the U.S. to finally get... And let's face it, the last couple games, Steph Curry, LeBron James, to a lesser extent, Kevin Durant, those were the guys. And those were the guys that always were going to be the leaders of this team. And like I said, Celtics fans are just crying. Why wasn't Jason Tatum? What's wrong with Steve Kerr? He didn't put Jason Tatum in the game. Hey, where are you going to put him? Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry. Where's Jason Tatum going?
I don't know.
So stop the crying. I'm sick of hearing it. Our guy didn't play. Yeah, good. Next Olympics, he will.
He will.
That's life.
LeBron won't be there in 3 years.
Exactly.
4 years.
But right now, Jason Tatum's not a power forward. You're not putting him at the 4. You're not putting him at center. He's not playing ahead of LeBron James. If it wasn't for LeBron, we would not have won that Serbia game. If it's not for LeBron James, we don't win the gold medal. So I don't want to hear about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's got himself a gold medal, had a big smile on his face yesterday, a couple bottles of champagne in his hand. That doesn't happen without LeBron James.
No, I agree.
So, win as a team, lose as a team. I don't want to hear it. Steve Kerr did not play Jason Tatum in the first game of the Olympics. And immediately the Celtics fans were in big cry mode.
Well, they should be.
And it's just pathetic. Root for America.
That's what they do, the Celtic fans, brother.
Root for America. Root for the red, white, and blue.
All of Boston, New England area, they're all crying all the time.
So that was the only negative about the men's basketball was the behavior of the Celtics fans. But since when am I not disappointed by Boston people?
I don't know, brother.
So anyway, the women
your
yesterday.
Your love for them is scary.
The women yesterday very easily could have lost.
Right.
They beat France 67-66.
Right.
France hit a shot at the buzzer. It was kind of a chuck by Gabby Williams, who sounds like an American name, doesn't it?
It does.
She hit a just like chucked a shot up, but her foot was on the 3-point line, and the shot banked in, but that was 67-66. So it was a 2-pointer because her foot was on the 3-point line. That could have been very different if she was, 8 inches back from where she actually took the shot.
Yeah.
If that goes in, we're going to overtime. France played the U.S. tough. They played tough defense. The U.S., I read the stat, the U.S. had averaged 14 turnovers a game in the Olympics. Against France in the final, they had 15 turnovers by halftime.
Can't do that.
That's way too many.
Way too many.
So France played some great defense. They limited the U.S. And thankfully, Asia Wilson, who was basically the LeBron of women's basketball, scored 21 points, had 13 rebounds. Asia went 4 for 5 in the second half, made 7 free throws also. She was the one who carried the United States, and that was the 61st consecutive win in Olympic basketball for the United States women, and also the 6th gold medal for Diana Taurasi. Think about that, brother. 6 gold medals. That's 24 years of gold medals.
That's incredible, man.
Which is ridiculous.
That's not a bad thing.
So I think this is her last Olympics.
Maybe, I don't know. We should say one thing about the Olympics, brother. At least to me, is that the Olympics are back. After Tokyo, it was because of COVID, and people didn't seem to care about it as much.
People didn't want to watch empty stadiums.
I think that's part of it.
Emotionless wins, and that was part of it. And people like the drama, and there's not drama without fans, without a packed stadium.
Right. So, but to me, the Olympics are kind of back, and that's a good thing. France put on a great show, except I didn't like the opening ceremonies. I think the opening ceremony should always be in the stadium. I know why they use the Seine.
River Seine.
River Seine.
But
I know
it was
why.
pouring.
I know that, but they didn't know that.
You know how we had rain a couple of days ago?
Yeah,
it was like that,
right,
coming down.
So, but to me, as much as that idea is a good idea, not having them walk into the stadium dressed and holding the flag or whatever is way it should have been. But I understand why they did it. I just didn't like it.
It was kind of weird having all the countries on boats and having them go down the river, and it was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, and plus it kind of removes the athletes from the fans. I mean, not that somebody who's up in the upper deck in whatever stadium can actually see the athletes, but if you're standing on the riverbank and you got these boats going through, you can't see anything.
No, especially at night. And also, when you're in the stadium, there's cameras and they put it on the screen anyway for a lot of things. So, to me, that was maybe the only bad thing. I thought the way NBC covered it was pretty good. They brought in the thing. Snoop Dogg, I heard, only made $100,000 a day.
Who said?
I read it.
Who told that lie?
I think it was in the Post or something.
Come on.
I don't know, but I
consider.
I can't.
The Post. If they wrote that, then a few days before they wrote that he was making $500,000.
Maybe I'm confusing with another paper, but does Snoop Dogg deserve $500,000? No.
Yes.
No.
Why not?
Because it's
$8
a lot of money.
million for the Olympics for Snoop.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? Snoop. You know what? Snoop brought eyes to the Olympics.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure of that, but
he was doing something every day that people were writing about. That in itself is worth $8 million.
That is part of the deal.
And considering that NBC paid how many billions of dollars for the Olympics?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot of billions.
So $8 million is chump change
it's not,
for the eyeballs.
Not the way NBC runs their company. Wow. But anyway, it did widen it. He's hanging out with Martha Stewart. And he's there, and then last night at the closing ceremonies. He's in L.A.
Of course, home base.
He's in home base, and that whole thing with Tom Cruise jumping off the top of the. I'm like,
I didn't even see it.
In the closing ceremonies,
I was doing other stuff yesterday.
In closing ceremonies, he's at the top of the stadium, and he's wired up, but he jumps, and then he lands on his feet. Perfectly, of course.
Tom Cruise is a cat.
And then he gets the Olympic flag, and then he takes it, he puts it in the back of his motorcycle, and he races out, and then it becomes a tape thing.
Oh, my God.
And then he goes into an army plane, and then he flies across the country, and then he gives it to someone else
in
LA.
10 seconds.
Yeah, of course. And then, of course, they have a thing. Then they go to L.A. and a couple of trade off of the flag, and then all of a sudden you see Snoop is singing along with Dr. Dre. So it was
West Coast. I say I'm doing West Coast with my fingers.
Yeah, is that what it means?
Yeah, West
I
Coast.
didn't know that.
West Coast.
So anyway, it was good to see that. And people cared about the Olympics, and even though the prime time is all on tape,
correct,
people watched it.
They did.
And
because there were a lot of people watching during the day.
Yeah,
a lot more than I thought.
Well,
but then a lot of people still watched at night. Now I'm assuming it wasn't the same people, but maybe people wanted to watch something again, like they listen to our show on the podcast,
sure,
and they listen during the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour, and they'll listen again later on at night.
Sure.
So if you see a good performance, maybe you want to see it again.
And also the thing about watching the night, the 8 to 11 slot is the fact that it's well edited and everything leads to usually the U.S. winning.
Yes.
So that's part of it.
It's tight. It's tight.
The
broadcast.
U.S. won so many. They led the medal count, but they also, we're talking about how they were winning. Once you know they're winning, people start caring about the story even more. So that's part of it too.
Right.
So I always say the story happens after it happens with the Olympics, but people then get into it. Simone Biles.
Simone Biles.
Just
made her a man, bro.
Yeah, I know. But she's the story for a while. Katie Ledecky is the story for a while. What they should really do, though, they shouldn't have the basketball game on the last day. They should make
that's what creates drama.
I know.
Plus the tournament, you have to give those guys some days of rest, because the amount of basketball player runs, to have them playing games like that on consecutive days is asking a lot. You can manage those minutes in the NBA. Victor Wembanyama for France he's got to play as many minutes as possible. They don't have anybody even remotely close to taking over for him.
Yeah, what I'm just saying is, instead of starting at the second week, maybe you start at the beginning of the end of the first week or something, that type of thing. Because, as you said last week, the first week is gymnastics and.
Well, I mean, they were already playing basketball too. That's what I'm saying, and they wind up going like what is it, 6 games I think it is to get to the final. So 6 games in 16 days.
That's a lot.
It's a good number of games. So
I agree. I agree. But also just one more thing. So you have this thing, and the ratings were really good this year. There were people at the beginning of the Olympics. Oh, I'm not going to watch it. They insulted me. And guess what? And then they said, oh, we're not watching it. We're not watching it. Well, guess what? It was one of the highest rating Olympics in a long time. And you know what? When people say I'm not going to watch it, they end up watching it anyway. Yeah. It's like the people who said, I'm not going to watch the NFL because of Colin Kaepernick,
right,
or whatever. And guess what? You're there the next week watching the games because you either have a bet on it or you're at a bar or
fantasy football team
or fantasy football team. So you're not if you're going to, as I always say to the people who are protesting football games, Golden Girls is on Sunday afternoon.
There you go.
So
watch Blanche and the Girls.
Right.
I will say this, brother.
Okay.
I don't even remember this guy's name.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure his last name was Fisher.
Okay.
And he wound up finishing third in, I think it was the 1,500 meters.
Okay.
This kid, they did an interview with him after. And first of all, I thought he was done because there was a couple of Kenyan guys up front, and everybody was running, and 5 guys took off. And he was like rooted there, and I'm like, I'm screaming at TV, dude, run! What are you doing? Because he was third for most of the race.
Right. Sometimes you can't.
But they went, and I'm like, why isn't he going with them? And then out of nowhere, in the last 200 meters, this guy comes flying out of nowhere. And I'm like, where'd that come from?
He had the breakaway talent to do it.
Finished third, got the bronze. I was happy that the kid even medaled. But then they did the interview with him after. Oh my God, all American. And I feel like an idiot now for not remembering his name. Like I said, Fisher. But the interview made me like the kid even more.
See?
So that was to me one of the better parts of the Olympics, because this kid was just he was was all grateful. He was thanking everybody. He was just like, he really appreciated the moment. And not just like, well, I did this. You know, it wasn't all me. It was all about the other people who were involved and helped to get him there.
That's the way it should be, man.
So,
the one thing about I noticed with the NBC coverage, at least the primetime coverage, they didn't have, everything is on tape. So they didn't show like the people on the stand when they won their medals. And they're listening to the story.
I don't mind that too much because it's all the same to me. Mostly the same.
What bothered me about it was the fact that when they did show it, it was much, much later. They filled the story in first, and then the end, instead of making it the first thing you see and then fill in the story, and it's just the opposite. Right. So to me, that I don't know. There's something to be said about being up there and you have your medal, and this is what you worked for. And
to me, that's 30 seconds. You don't.
Yeah, I know,
but in real time, it's 10 minutes, and nobody wants to watch that for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that do it in real time, because especially on the prime time, they don't do anything in real time.
Right.
But
they can't. It's all everybody's asleep by then.
It's like great example, Ruzioni. In 1980, where he said to the whole team, "Come on up."
Right, and somehow they all fit on the podium, which was a miracle.
So to me, that's what you like to see. That type.
Well, and from this Olympics, when Simone Biles and Jordan Childs bowed to the Brazilian girl, and gave her that moment.
Right.
That was great. That's total sportsmanship right there.
Right.
That's acknowledging somebody who is great at what she does and beat you. That's how good she is, that she beat Simone Biles at anything.
Yep.
And that's acknowledging her and giving her that moment. Even though now that Jordan Childs apparently is going to lose her bronze medal that they gave her after the U.S. protest. Because apparently the protest was 4 seconds late. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, it's the Olympics.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard. Apparently you're supposed to the protest is supposed to be lodged no more than a minute after the competition. And apparently it was 1 minute 4 seconds. Dumbest thing I ever heard.
Wow. And let's be honest, brother. Katie Ledecky and Simone Biles are America's sweethearts right now.
Of course.
If I'm them, I find a way to do this whole we're partners, and even though they're totally different, just in the way
their agents won't allow that.
I know that, but they could probably make more money as this. Not this odd couple type of thing, but
that's what it would
pair.
be.
It'd be this pair thing.
Yeah.
It's like Bird and Magic. They rode that out. They're still riding it out.
But they were both basketball players,
right? But they're both Olympians, and that's the Olympics allows that to happen.
Simone Biles will get plenty of endorsements.
Oh,
she's still talking about how she might compete in L.A. I mean, it used to be with swimmers and gymnasts that you did your Olympics and then you were done. And nowadays, it's like, well, why can't I do a second? Why can't I do a third?
Well,
where are they going? That's the thing. It's like, where's Katie Ledecky going?
Well, it's not like
there's no professional swimming league.
No, and that's and it's not like she can come. They set up a pool at Nassau Coliseum, or more importantly, a UBS Arena, and say, hey, we're going to do swimming today at the UBS Arena, and have her uncle there.
But I mean, even if you did that. Does anybody really want to watch Katie Ledecky swim like an exhibition?
No,
1,500 meters? It's kind of boring. Even Katie Ledecky says it's boring.
Yeah, it is.
So if she's the one doing it, how are the fans going to look at it?
It's not like
she's great, but it's kind of boring.
But it's not like ice skating. Where you would have
ice skating. There's risk. They could fall. They're
but I'm talking about
on a blade, on a little tiny blade.
No, but I'm talking about when they do exhibitions and they do ice capades or whatever.
But there's an entertainment value to it. Just like with the gymnasts are coming to I forget what arena, but they already advertised it as the gold medal tour.
Yeah, sure.
So and that was before the Olympics even started.
Yeah, well.
So and Simone Biles will be doing, and that's what ice skaters and gymnasts do.
Right.
That's the next phase.
But the thing is, nowadays, since you can get paid a salary, so you don't have to starve, and the old Olympic way is gone. So why not go for the next one 4 years later? The next Olympics, because you're getting paid. Simone Biles is going to get paid.
Well, Simone Biles is going to be making a lot of endorsement money.
Right.
So, and Katie Ledecky should be making a lot of endorsement money as well.
She will.
So I mean, between the two of them, I don't know about the rest of the team and how much those people will be making, but everybody's got some money.
Oh yeah,
coming.
Yeah.
Everybody who won a gold medal likely will figure out a way to at least capitalize on it in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Depending on the events, of course.
Yeah. We should say U.S. women's soccer. They won gold, 1-0 over Brazil, putting the U.S. women's national team back in focus. Let's be honest. They have not. They're the dominant team in the world. And the last,
but not anymore.
Not anymore, but they used to be. At least they're number one.
Not so long ago.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
there's a lot of reasons why.
The World Cup was a disaster for the U.S. women, a total disaster, and they got rid of the coach who needed to be gotten rid of, and hired this woman Emma Hayes, who was coaching Chelsea over in England, and she had been in the United States before she went back to England and coached Chelsea. So she was in the U.S. system. So that was the main reason why she got the job, because U.S. Soccer knew her. She also had a lot of success with Chelsea. So she was brought back to restore our women to the highest spot where I don't want to say where they belong, because that's kind of condescending.
No, it's not, brother.
I mean, there are other good teams out there now. It's not just the United States and maybe one or two other teams. There are probably 6 legitimate teams that could win any competition that they're in now.
Okay.
The women's game is growing, and our team took a step backwards in the last World Cup, mostly, I think, because of poor tactics from Andonovsky, the coach for that team, who I thought was a disaster. But the other thing that Emma Hayes has done is she's made the team much younger, and she has also made it very clear to all of the players, whoever the best players are going to play. Your name is not going to get you in the starting lineup anymore. And like Rose Lavelle, who is supposed to be one of the anchor players on this team, didn't start the final because Emma Hayes said, "Hey, you're not playing the best right now. We're starting this other girl," and she wound up putting the assist to Mallory Swanson,
right,
who had to scream at Sophia Smith. Sophia Smith came in; she was on the right, offside, but the ball came in to Mallory Swanson, who got behind the defense. She literally had to scream at Sophia Smith, "Don't touch the ball," because it would have been whistled for offside.
Right.
And even Swanson couldn't even pass it to Smith because Smith just ran away. She ran towards the right corner, and she's like, "I don't want anything to do with this." And Swanson had a lane to the goal, slotted it perfectly past the Brazilian goalkeeper, and that was it. And it's a great moment for her because she had a serious leg injury. I think she tore her patella tendon or something, and was out for like a year and missed the last World Cup, which was a huge loss for the United States because she's one of our top offensive players. But she's back, and in the interim, she also got married to Chicago Cubs shortstop Dansby Swanson, which is why she's now Mallory Swanson as opposed to Mallory Pugh. But so she's doing all right for herself.
Is she influenced by Mia Hamm?
Everybody is influenced by Mia Hamm, brother. Everybody. Every female soccer player alive.
No, I'm talking about the fact that she married Nomar.
No.
No, okay.
No, she's just they met. They're elite athletes meet, brother. That's what happens. She probably went to a game, a Braves game, or maybe I think she might be from Georgia or that area. But they met. They hit it off. They're both elite athletes, and for whatever reason it worked. So
anyway. Whoops. Let me turn my mic back on.
Good idea, brother.
No, the reason I turned my mic off is because we have a phone call. I can answer the phone call.
Go ahead, brother.
And our friend Hank from Seaford is back. Hello, Hank. How are you, sir?
Hey, man. How you doing?
What's up, Hank?
Welcome back.
Okay.
USA, man.
Yeah. Actually, that's what I wanted to talk about. A couple of points, if I may. I am so happy that we tied China with the gold, but we actually won more medals. And that was a nail biter. It was a lot more. But we may tally it on who has the most medals, but I think the official is who has the most gold. So we tied, but we had the most medals. So
but China won like everything in the diving.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
And also Russia wasn't there this year, so.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't see.
But anyway, I wanted, if you can just grant me a minute. I respect you guys. You don't talk a lot about, the politics and, that kind of stuff. But, Rob, I think you alluded to it. You didn't like the opening of the Olympics, and I didn't either.
No. I didn't like the fact that they were in boats. I didn't have any problem with what's the word, Dionysus? How do you spell it?
Yeah.
I had no problem with that because I didn't see it. I personally thought that the players being in boats on the Seine, how you say it, brother?
Seine.
The Seine.
Yes, the River Seine.
Takes away from the getting used to the players, because one of the things about the Olympics is a lot of times you don't know these players. I mean, everyone knows Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky, and the whatever version of the basketball team is. But this is how you sort of meet the players is opening day when they walk into the stadium.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, yeah. My point is different. I'm a born-again Christian. I'm a retired minister. I just did 14 years in the church. And when they did that opening with the LGBTQ transvestites mocking the Last Supper.
But Hank, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there. Wait, brother. It wasn't the Last Supper, Hank.
Please give me a minute.
I know, but it wasn't the Last Supper. I have to make that correction.
A lot of people interpreted it that way. But anyway, besides that point, you wouldn't see them mocking Jews or Muslims or anything like that. But many people took offense to that. And the way that picture was, the way that they presented it, it was a depiction of the Last Supper. But anyway, I actually don't want the politics in the thing. I like you guys. I just want to see the sports. I don't want to see the pump fisting. I don't want to see the take a knee. I don't want to see the LGBTQ crap. I don't want to see the wokeness. Just play the sports, get the medals, raise the flag. You know what I mean? That's how I think. So anyway, that was my.
Okay, now we're gonna correct you about that Last Supper thing, because actually they said it had nothing to do with the Last Supper. Brother, finish it.
Well, no, that's what I was talking about before. Is it, yes? Did a lot of people think it was the Last Supper? Yes, they did. But that's what took off on social media, and that message was wrong. And that's the problem that I have. I have no problems with people wanting to defend their religion, and if they think that something is being I don't know, mocked, for lack of a better word. I don't think anybody was actually mocking anything, but for whatever reason, if you think your religion is being done dirty, for lack of a better term, I don't have any problem with anybody speaking up about it. But make sure that you have the facts straight.
Well, I disagree. The facts are interpretation, because like the next day they were like apologizing. They were saying, "Well, we're just trying to do inclusion and stuff." So they didn't deny that they were doing some sort of portrayal of the Last Supper.
But they did. But they did.
No,
that's why I keep saying you keep saying Last Supper, and I'm telling you that wasn't what it was.
It had something to do with the Greeks, and of course the Greeks started the Olympics. So I know where you're.
I disagree with that. I think actually.
But that's the truth.
I think we need to do a little more homework on that.
We did.
That is Hank. That is the homework. I'm telling you what the message was from the organizers. That's what
I read the message. They actually apologized if anybody was offended, and they said that, hey, we're just trying to do some inclusionary thing. I didn't read that this was something about the Greek Olympics, and I don't think the Greek Olympics would have some 300-pound guy with a beard dressed as a woman. All right, come on. That's just like...
the Greeks were party animals back then, you know?
They may have been, but I don't think it was like that. Anyway.
And also, Hank,
friends I've had, another thing about you just said something about the Olympics. Part of the Olympics is politics. If you remember, one of the reasons...
Part of it is inclusion, too.
And one of the things the Olympics was meant to be was, instead of having wars, you would have sports competition.
Yeah.
So, going back to Jesse Owens, there was a great article I read the other day about Jesse Owens.
Good point, bro.
In 1936, he shoved it up Hitler's butt.
Yeah.
And
I read that article as well, because the Aryans thought that they were going to dominate. Here comes some black guy that won a bunch of medals, and the guy that ran the German Olympic Committee was committed suicide. And hey, listen, I can talk politics. We did the 1972 basketball game
against Russia. That was a big deal too. In 1980, when Jimmy Carter pulled the U.S. team out of the Moscow Olympics and
Yeah,
in
we talked
'84.
about that last week.
Yeah, in '84, Russia pulled out of the LA Olympics.
Yeah,
and
I
then
know.
so that the politics is part of the Olympics. It's not the main part of the Olympics, but the politics. And even the two guys in '68 where they gave the Black Power fist.
Yeah.
In Mexico City. So it part of it is politics. It's not just the difference is we're not supposed to have like a war over it, and that's why you have it on the field. So
But I like Russia against America, that kind of stuff. But I don't want to repeat myself. But I was offended by the opening. I think there's still some research to do. But anyway, can I change points now, or you want?
Sure,
to
no, you can.
I'm going to find an article. I'm going to post it on our Facebook page, Shank. I'm going to do that within the next 24 hours.
Okay, and
All right.
I could forward an article, a paste on it as well.
Absolutely.
From my point of view, but anyway, I did like the Olympics, except for just some we won. But anyway, sleeping in Seattle. What happened to the Mets?
Oh, we haven't even gotten there yet, Hank. That's going to be after the break. But yeah, the Mets. It was not. It went. Put it this way: when you get outscored 22-1 in 3 games, you're not going to win many games.
I know.
That's it. And when you score that one run, and when the Mariners scored 12 that same day, it's not a good weekend for the Mets. I don't know. Grimace must have been on vacation or something.
Grimace got lost going there.
Yeah. Last comment. Going back to the Olympics, I was actually happy with the attitude of the men's basketball team. I always thought maybe LeBron might have done or said something stupid or whatever, but I thought he was a professional. I thought Curry saved the team. I agree. The Boston Celtics fans, a bunch of crybabies. I don't know why the coach sat him out on the first game. I mean, I thought everybody should have got a little play time, but I don't know. It's like you say, you're not doing it for the man. You're doing it for the country and the team. But I thought they did a professional job. Yeah,
it's tougher though with the minutes because the Olympic Games are only 40 minutes. Yeah. So it's 8 minutes less than an NBA game, and I'm not excusing that. And should Jason Tatum have played more? Yeah, he probably should have. He's certainly one of the 5 best players in the NBA. But you're not going to take minutes away from LeBron. You're probably not going to take minutes away from Kevin Durant, and Curry and Tatum play different positions, so that doesn't really matter. But Curry's not going to lose minutes depending on how they're going to use Tatum. So those were your 3 key guys, and that's why Tatum didn't play very much. I mean, Curry yesterday was ridiculous. I mean, he just all of a sudden started making threes, and the last one was just stupid. I mean, he shook a defender, and then a double team came over, so he shook the one guy and he went right into the other guy, and he was like, all right, I'm going to shoot it anyway. And it was one of those no, and it's like, oh my God, it went in. I was ridiculous. That was when I posted on Facebook. I said Steph Curry cannot miss, because that shot was stupid, and I'm saying stupid as a compliment because it was just ridiculous. He never should have shot the ball and hit nothing but net. So but that's Steph Curry. That's the talent. And Jason Tatum will be a key member of the United States Olympic team probably in 4 years. Probably that soon, because it's only 4 years. But he is going to be a centerpiece of the team. So that's why I don't understand the Celtics fans and all the crying that they're doing. Oh, our guy. That's just, it's not the way the Olympics works. I mean, Caitlin Clark didn't even make the team for the women. She's arguably one of the best players, one of the 10 best players in the WNBA, and she certainly is the player that the public cares about the most. But it's not her time yet.
Right, and you know what? In 4 years, and when it's in Los Angeles, and everyone's going to be watching these games live, and NBC's going to build up the stories even more, Caitlin Clark and Jason Tatum are going to get even more publicity than they would have now. So,
and the smartest thing that both of them can do, because the question will be asked, what did you take from 4 years ago? What were you feeling back then? And the smartest thing that Jason Tatum can say is, we won a gold medal, baby.
That's all you have to say.
See, I'll bring it to the interview. Look at my gold medal. I love this gold medal. And Caitlin Clark can say, hey, you know what? Diana Taurasi got her 6th gold medal. And she's a women's basketball legend, and all I know is it's I got to wait my turn. Now my turn is here. Those are the answers that they should say. Nothing else.
Yep, and both of them are good enough to do that too. They're not selfish players. Caitlin Clark is very. She acknowledges women's basketball past, I should say. So she's very aware of how she's now here, where maybe 10 years ago the same person wouldn't have been as popular or well known. So,
and Caitlin Clark the other day, she got to go to the Yankee game. She met Aaron Judge. Yeah. She met Michael Kay.
Did you see the picture of her and Aaron Judge? Because Aaron Judge is 6'7", and usually
she's like 6'2". Caitlin
I
Clark.
know. I mean,
she's a tall girl.
She
wasn't that much shorter than Judge.
Yeah, if Judge wanted to date a tall girl, she'd be it.
Judge is married.
Oh, okay. Well, if he wanted to date her, still, it doesn't matter. She's got a boyfriend or fiance,
Let's
whatever.
not mess up Aaron Judge's marriage. Come on.
I'm just saying. She's 6'2".
What do you think about no boxing in Los Angeles?
I haven't gotten through a lot of the stuff. I mean, I heard that the whole breakdancing thing was just a one Olympics thing because it's not going to be in the next Olympics, which, I mean, hell, they should have it in Los Angeles. But they're going to have cricket at the next Olympics, which I don't understand why. But I haven't seen everything that's going to be there and what's not. I think it's silly not to have boxing at the Olympics. To me, that should be one of the core Olympic sports always. But...
And considering the history of boxing in the Olympics, how do you not have it? I mean, think about Muhammad Ali. Think about Sugar Ray Leonard. George Foreman.
Yeah. I mean, so many guys got their start in the Olympics, and it was all right. Go there, win a gold medal, and then turn pro.
And Sugar Ray Leonard,
Spinks brothers too,
right? Both Michael and Leon Spinks. But Sugar Ray Leonard, because he was so light. If it was just go through boxing, and back then boxing was still boxing, no one would really know or care about him. But he wins the Olympic gold. He's Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
He's our cousin. We love him.
Now he's a guy who you can market. You can put him on a poster and say, "Come watch Olympic gold medals." And Sugar Ray Leonard.
He let everyone know that he was available, and he was.
He milked it for all it was worth.
Franklin Sports Stuff gave him a ton of money. So. Anyway, well, thank you, Hank. Anything else before you leave?
No, I enjoyed the conversation. I think in Los Angeles they're going to have baseball.
Well, I hope so.
Be nice.
I know it's early, but I hope Aaron Judge and Pete Alonso makes the team.
I want Bocce to be there. I'm surprised there wasn't. I want Bocce. So.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know. Baseball will be good. I think flag football is also going to be there, which is bizarre to me, but okay. Let's see how it goes.
Hank, we appreciate you calling in. Take care, man.
All right, thanks, man. Have a great day.
So long, Hank.
90.3 WHPC from the press box. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
Do you own a business on Long Island? Listen up, because this show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by BMGPays.com, a Long Island company that provides point-of-sale systems, including merchant processing and industry consulting to all types of business owners. They help companies deal with the challenges of any industry with three important things in mind: integrity, transparency, and reliability. You can find out how to get the information, guidance, knowledge, and assistance you may need by visiting BMGPays.com. That's BMGPays.com.
90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Welcome back to From the Press Box, here live every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. This show becomes a podcast later on Spreaker.com, among other places. And don't forget about Sports Talk here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., and an additional Sports Talk every Tuesday at 11 p.m. I want to just wish our friend Joe Whitman a happy birthday. Today's his birthday. And our friend Rob Tuck also having his birthday on the 15th. And my birthday's next week, but that's a whole other week.
We'll talk about that next week.
Yes, of course. So anyway, one more thing about the Olympics. We didn't mention Noah Lyles.
Fastest man alive.
Fastest man alive.
Anybody who wins the 100, that's the title you get. Just like the heavyweight champion is the baddest man on earth.
Yes, but he came in third in the 200-meter dash. Everyone was shocked because that's his race. But then we find out he tested positive for COVID, which made him not be able to breathe very well.
Well, yeah. I mean, the guy finished third in the 200 meters with an illness that basically attacks your lungs and makes it difficult to breathe.
Yep.
Which is pretty spectacular, but he probably shouldn't have been racing in the first place. I mean, he finished the race and immediately went to the ground, and I'm like, what's going on with it? Like, this guy, he looks like he is struggling to breathe. It was only 200 meters. He shouldn't be, he's in good shape. He shouldn't be on the ground struggling like this. And then a little bit later, it's like, oh, yeah, we just found out that Noah Lyles tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, well,
huh?
Yeah. Anyway, so, that's why he didn't win his race, which is the 200 meters. Let's move on. We have the Mets to talk about. We talked about a little bit of, Mets are doing bad, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, brother, you were telling me all weekend how the Mets had passed the Braves, and you were very happy about that. And
they were ahead by half game.
You were all about it, and the Mets are in second place. I don't even know how many times you told me in a 24-hour period, and that's
3 times.
It didn't even last 24 hours. So
no, but you want to know why? I mean, the Mets are 61-57, 4-6 in the last 10.
It's not good.
Braves are 61-56. They're a half game ahead of the Mets. And the reason why it's not worse for the Mets is that the Braves have been 3-7 in the last.
The Braves are let's face it, I keep saying this, the Braves are not a good team right now because so many of their key players are hurt. And the Mets need to take advantage because do the Mets have a couple of injuries? Sure they do. But their main guys are all in the lineup. Yep. And their pitchers, for the most part, are healthy. I'm not even going to include Kodai Senga because he's missed the entire season, save for one start. So this 2024 has been a complete waste for him. But the Mets, this was the time of the schedule where the Mets needed.
This is the time they should be making their move. And right now they're not doing it. So
no, I mean they had a crazy thing because they played the Angels. They lost 2 out of 3 at home, but then they go on this crazy road trip. They have to fly to St. Louis to play one game. They actually beat the Cardinals in that game. Then from there they go to Colorado to play. And they took 2 out of 3 from the Rockies, and then they wind up going to Seattle. It's not a fun trip.
No,
but and Seattle's a good team, but you need to make up ground against the Rockies, the St. Louis, but you need to take something in Seattle. You can't just lose 3 games and roll over like they did.
Yes, I agree. So anyway, the Mets, let's start to win.
Mets are playing the Oakland Athletics starting tonight. So that's a bad team. I tell you what, they're playing better than people expected, but it's still a bad team.
Yeah.
That's that should be a sweep. That's not even lose 1 or take 2 out of 3. That needs to be a sweep, especially after getting swept and embarrassing themselves in Seattle like they did. If you look at the Diamondbacks and the Padres, and especially the Padres, I'm telling everybody right now who's listening, the Padres might not be the leaders in the National League West.
They're not.
The Padres are going to be a very dangerous team in the postseason.
They're tied for second right now with the Diamondbacks.
They made significant improvements in their bullpen at the trade deadline. That is now a postseason kind of team. And I don't care what their record is, because A.J. Preller, the GM, had made some great moves, getting Tanner Scott and the other guy. I don't even remember the other name. But their bullpen is solid now. It's as solid as any bullpen in the game, and bullpens win in the playoffs. And that's why I've been saying the Yankees aren't going to win because their bullpen is terrible. And I don't think the Mets are going to win because their bullpen is just as bad. And that's a problem. Stroman yesterday for the Yankees goes 5 innings and gives up 1 run, and then the Yankees bullpen gives up 6 runs in the last 3 innings of the game, and they just scraped out a win.
Right.
And that's been the Mets bullpen for most of the season. It is a similar situation. So I will point out I was going to say the Diamondbacks and Padres right now basically have a hammerlock on the first 2 wild card spots. So the Mets are playing the Braves for the last spot. So the Mets need to finish second in the National League East, because if they don't, they're not going to be in the playoffs.
No.
Plain and simple. That to me is how it is.
Though St. Louis is pretty close, brother.
They are, but the Mets. I'm not saying the Mets have to gauge themselves by what the Braves are doing, because I think the Braves are going to wind up under 500 by the time the season's over. But the Mets need to past the Braves and then put space in between them and the Braves. Being 4 games over 500 isn't going to get it done.
Not right now. Let's quickly talk about the Yankees. They are tied for first place with the Baltimore Orioles, 70-49.
How about that?
They're 6-4 in the last 10. Baltimore's 5-5. We talked about this last week. They seem to have found, after being a month and a half off, they seem to have found what they started the season with, which they had a great opening season.
Yeah, it wasn't that good in the last week.
But the people aren't on the Yankee fans aren't on the ledge the way they were a month ago. So
well, we got to make room for the Met fans, brother.
Well, we got off the ledge when the Mets were winning. When Grimace showed up, we were like, "Hey, look what we got here. Well, look at the Mets." So think of it that way, brother.
Grimace went out on a burger run or something.
I think Grimace went to Wendy's. So anyway, the Yankees are doing well, brother.
They're, like I said, they're doing all right. They lost. They beat the Rangers 2 out of 3, which is pretty good. The Rangers have been struggling, but the Yankees also lost to the Angels 2 out of 3 at home, which to me that's unforgivable. The issue that the Yankees were having for the last week or so is the weather. They didn't know how many games they were going to play because it was raining all week. I couldn't believe how many games they actually got in.
Well, one of the problems, brother, is nowadays the weather predictions are so accurate. They just at 10 o'clock in the morning they say, "Okay, it's going to rain later on. Okay, cancel the game." Where maybe they used to play in it, or in the old days they would wait and then they'd play at 2 o'clock in the morning or something, which they don't want to do anymore for many reasons, and that part of it is the TV contracts.
I've been there, brother.
Yeah, I know you've covered. You were at the games when it was like 1 o'clock in the evening,
later,
the morning.
Later,
and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going to continue the game."
Yeah.
So anyway,
3 hour plus rain delays.
You're right. So the Yankees are playing well though, considering
like I said, Stroman wound up getting the win. He was pitching on 8 days rest, which is a little ridiculous. But yesterday was his first win in more than a month. He hadn't had a win since June 22nd. Giancarlo Stanton had a home run for his second day in a row. More importantly, hit a home run after Aaron Judge got an intentional walk, which is something that the Yankees need to make teams pay for because it's happening more and more lately. Juan Soto hit a couple of home runs, now has 30 on the season. Aaron Judge hit a home run, now has a Major League Baseball leading 42 on the season. And Stanton, like I said, 2 home runs in 2 days, now has 20 on the season. That's the 13th time in his career he's reached 20.
Right.
And I just want to point out very quickly, brother.
Sure.
Austin Wells.
Okay.
I am now on the Austin Wells bandwagon.
Good to hear.
This guy, if for anybody who hasn't noticed, Austin Wells has been out of his mind hitting for more than a month now. About a month ago, his average was in the 220s. Right now, he's hitting 252 or something. He is killing the ball, and he has assumed full-time catcher position since Jose Trevino went out with an injury. As far as I'm concerned, the job is Austin Wells's now. I don't want Trevino as the starting catcher. I mean, first of all, his throwing issues have been abominable. But to me, Austin Wells is the guy from now on. I want him in the lineup as much as possible.
Okay. Let's quickly get to the Giants and the Jets. I hate exhibition games in the NFL. A waste of time, a waste of money. If you're a season ticket holder, they make you buy full-price tickets for games that don't matter. And you also, when you watch the game, there's a certain feel like, oh, my God, I hope our guy doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Because it's an exhibition game, and I wish these games...
But it happens.
I know. Either they reduce it down to 2 or have the game someplace else that doesn't have football.
Well, they just reduced them from 4 to 3. So, I mean, that literally happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but that's because they added another game.
Yeah, but they're not going to reduce it to 2.
Well, then when they go to 18 games, they probably will.
Well,
but I hate exhibition games for many reasons. And they should be played in neutral sites just so... people who don't have football, on a regular basis, oh, look, the Jets are in town. Well, let's go watch them.
Well, I mean, if you throw it in Columbus, Ohio, are they going to fill a stadium? They'd rather watch Ohio State.
But they don't fill a stadium for these exhibition games. I know people who have season tickets, and they can't give away exhibition game tickets.
You donate them, and then you write it off on taxes.
And that's such a bad donation because it's not worth anything. But you still think it is, and you get to write it off. Anyway, the Giants defeated the Lions 14-3 at MetLife Stadium, and the Jets defeated the Commanders the day before 20-17.
No, 2 days after.
2 days. Oh, 2 days after. I'm sorry.
The Giants and the Lions, bro. I'll give you a couple of things. They had a couple of practices before that game, and they were brawling. I mean, both practices turned into fights. They were going at it, like guys taking swings at each other. The NFL decided to fine both teams $200,000 each because they were not pleased with the video that was coming out of those practices.
Yeah, well, please note, everyone who's playing football, there's cameras everywhere.
Well, yeah. So your boy, brother, Tommy DeVito, a.k.a. Tommy Cutlets.
I love Tommy.
8 for 15 for 92 yards against the Lions. And somebody named Eric Gray, a running back, making a case to make the team, had 52 yards on 4 carries, including a 48-yard touchdown run. So
good for him.
Good for him.
Of course, Aaron Rodgers isn't playing any of these exhibition games.
He might play a series against the Giants in the third exhibition game. Maybe. Saleh doesn't want him to play, but I think he should play one series. How much can you protect a guy? Let the guy play a series. Let him get out there and at least throw a couple passes and figure it out. But, I mean, if you're worried about him getting hurt and missing a season again, why wouldn't that happen in game 1?
I agree, which happened. That does happen. I agree.
So, number 2 pick, overall pick, Jaden Daniels did play against the Jets, had a 42-yard completion, and wound up running in later in the series for a 3-yard score in his only series, but looked good. Looked good for the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, so good. I'm looking forward to Aaron Rodgers leading the Jets. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Hopefully if
he stays healthy, the Jets likely would end their 13-year playoff drought.
Right. And
likely.
And one more thing about Aaron Rodgers, stay away from the stupid stuff. If you want to be the king of New York, stay away from the stupid stuff.
What define stupid stuff, bro?
Yeah, he talks out of his butt sometimes, bro.
Well, there was a story this morning that said he regrets saying that he was immunized.
Right.
So that's that was a stupid thing for him to say, to lie to the NFL the way he did.
Right.
But that's one of the stupid things that my brother is talking about.
Yeah, let's quickly talk about soccer, brother. We are a soccer-friendly show. Premier League starts Friday. Fulham against Man U.
Yeah, it's nice of the Premier League to give Manchester United a gift to start the season with Fulham at home. That's going to be the first match of the season on Friday. Bunch of games on Saturday. Most of the league will be playing. 2 of the name clubs will meet on Sunday when reigning champion Manchester City travels to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea. And by the way, Chelsea has another new manager. Not really a shocker there. My Tottenham Hotspur will open the season next Monday against Leicester, which played in the championship last season, but earned promotion back into the Premier League. So we'll be watching that one after the show next week.
We will?
Yes, we will.
I didn't know that.
3:00 kickoff for that one. Also, brother, quickly, United States defender and former member of the Red Bulls, who I covered back in the day, Tim Ream, is leaving Fulham after 9 years with the club to join Charlotte FC in Major League Soccer. Fulham announced the departure on Wednesday, called Tim Ream a legend and an outstanding servant to the club. Tim Ream played for Red Bulls in 2010 and 2011, and is a very class individual, I will say.
Maybe we can get him on the show. By the way, brother, are you a proud member of the Nassau Community College alumni? No, you're not, because you went to Hofstra, but yes. I am. Find out more information about the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. For more information, please visit ncc.edu/alumni. And your WHPC weather forecast, powered by Pantano's Gourmet, with locations in Hewlett and Uniondale. This afternoon, mostly cloudy, high about 80 degrees. Tonight, it will be clear. Low at 66. That's good.
Good sleeping weather.
That's good sleeping weather. Keep your windows open. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy, high about 81. Currently outside the studios here at Nassau Community College at 78 degrees. My name is Rob Leonard. He is Tim Leonard. This has been From the Press Box, here every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Coming up next, they call him Big Ed for many reasons. Please listen and find out. Ed Newlands with Good Gold. Take care and bye-bye.